It is completely dominated by Jade. Jade. Hey guys, MrPokke here, back with another video, and welcome to another patch version 2.3 of CN's usage/tier list for Honkai Starbucks. And without further ado, let's get into today's content. Subscribe! Today we're going to be doing something special. The usage list this time, or the CN version side this time, is not going to be about Memory of Chaos, but rather it is going to be for pure fiction, especially with the inclusion of our brand new unit, Jade, right? Because I believe that a lot of players who are considering pulling for Jade, they're thinking, is she going to be worth it? And how is her performance like in pure fiction? Does she change everything in pure fiction? So no theory crafting, and we'll just let numbers do the talking, right? So first things first, we're gonna be taking a look at the 使用率, which is gonna be the overall usage rate. So you can see this is gonna be for pure fiction version 2.3 for the final floor, the 4th floor. Usage rate, in case you guys forgot, usage rate is basically out of all of the players who own X unit, how many players use the X unit in pure fiction. So for example, if you had 1,000 players with Runmei, how many Runmei players use Runmei in pure fiction? So if you have 1,000 players, that means that 925 Runmeis out of the 1,000 were used in pure fiction. Alright, first things first, 使用率. Rank 1 still Runmei at 92.5%, and rank 2 is gonna be Adventurine at 89.4%. These are the absolute highest usage rate. So for players who own Runmei and Adventurine, almost 90% of them will use them in pure fiction. And I believe this just goes to show that if you guys are thinking about Stellar Jades, because each unit in Honkai Starbucks, they cost roughly the same, assuming of average luck, right? So best bang for buck, I think it is absolutely positive that Runmei and Adventurine, you can use them in MOC, you can use them in Pure, you can just use them everywhere. Very good value for players who are thinking about pulling. So this is going to be the highest usage rate. Then for the next tier, we are going to take a look at Himeko at 81.7%, but Jade actually coming in slightly lower than Himeko at 79%, which means out of 100 Himeko users, 81.7 of them use Himeko, but out of 100 Jade users, only 79 of them use Jade in pure fiction. So that is quite interesting to see. Robin coming in a very close third place at 78.5%, Argenti at 76.8%, Herta at an absolutely astonishing 74.3%, our first ever 4-star unit coming in above 70%, and Sparkle gonna be at a very nice 69%. Alright, this is gonna be the usage rate in the second tier. Now going to the next, this is gonna be the high tier. Firefly 56.9, Hue coming in at 56.4, almost close. So I think all of the units here, they are roughly around the same ballpark. Aircon actually dropping considerably low to only 50.9%, absolutely insane. Fusion 51.5, Black Swan 54.9, Kafka actually dropping all the way to 45.5%. Gallagher, Ting Yun, Harmony, Trobes, and Tobes, they're all roughly around the 30% range. So this is gonna be considered the high usage rate, considering the fact that we still have the mid tier, right? Zhong, this is gonna be the mid tier. Luocha at a catastrophic 24.5%, the absolute lowest out of all of our limited sustains. So between Hue, Adventurine, and Fusion, Luocha is literally like half of their usage rate. So this is gonna be very low. Clara 22.6, Imbibitor Lune Zile at 19.8%, Bronya 19.4%, Pella 17.3%, Blade actually did not too bad 15.1%, and Jingyue at 14.1%. Stilla, Boot Hill, Silver Wolf, single target, not too much to say about. Stilla, honestly, it's getting a little bit low at 7.3%, right? Then one more slot over here, which is going to be the last slot, is going to be the low usage rate. So the low usage rate is everything below sub 5%. All the way from Japar, Daughter Ratio, Asa, Ding Liu completely falling off the goddamn cliff, all the way to Luca at 0.1%. Alright, so not looking too good for Jing Liu, if I can say so myself. So you players are thinking, at this point I just want to address something, right? If players are thinking about pulling for a unit that can be used in the most ways possible, so you want to pull for a unit in both Memory of Chaos, Apocalyptic Shadows, as well as pure fiction, I think statistics has clearly shown that you can't really go wrong with support and sustains. Particularly Runmei, Sparkle, Robin, all of our supports, they are pretty much consistently above the 50% usage rate, right? So if you're thinking about absolute bang for buck, bang for buck, right? Because at the end of the day, one stellar Jade is one stellar Jade. Then pulling for sustains, it will often net you the best results. Whereas you can see that for the situation for DPS units, like for now it might be Himeko, Jade, and Argentina, all that kind of stuff, right? But if you just go all the way down, some of the lowest usage rates are also coming from limited 5-star DPS units such as Jingliu, Daughter Ratio, but I mean it's not free anymore, Ding Yuan, Silla, Budio, so forth. So my point is this, right? Putting for a unit in terms of like a variety of users, how many times can players actually use them in the content, hence the word usage rate? It really depends on the pure fiction buff specifically, which is why I think, neutrally speaking, Braxiphone made a video about Jade. Braxiphone's guys changed my life. Do not send it to Braxipone. He's the best. He's a rank 1. Do not. This is not a drama. I mentioned that Jade is gonna be very, very good for pure fiction. I feel that for pure fiction specifically, if players are pulling for pure fiction, it is not as important. I don't think it should be seen having the same significance compared to pulling a unit for Memory of Chaos, because pure fiction usage rate, it is highly dependent on buffs. Pure fiction buffs are completely fucking broken. I believe there was this patch we have follow-up units. I believe we had this patch for DOT units. So it really changes a lot based on the buffs that we are getting, for the most part. There are a few exceptions to this, which is like very, very universal units, such as Ranmei Aventry, or like units like your Herta, are very, very universal. But for the most part, if the buffs are good enough for the players can go ahead and clear them. Right, even if you are running follow-up team like Dr. Richard and Topaz, right now, let's just be real, they're not doing too good, right? They're not doing too good. But there was a patch where follow-up units, they performed exceptionally well. So it's not like a thing that they're just never going to be good. Whereas for Memory of Chaos, the buffs, they are not as broken compared to pure fiction. And even without the buffs, for the most part, players can just match the right elemental weakness, and you can still clear Memory of Chaos. Whereas for pure fiction, the weaknesses are kind of all over the place for the most part, right? For the most. So that is gonna be my neutral opinion. I believe that players pulling for Memory of Chaos would have a higher significance compared to pulling for pure fiction specifically. Because let's be real, E0 Jade, her performance in Memory of Chaos, it leaves much to be desired. And for the exact same amount of Stellar Jades, let's just say you spend 75 pulls for Jade. Let's just say you spend 75 pulls for Jade. That 75 pulls could have went to Ranmei. That 75 pulls could have went to Aventry, right? Or it could have fucking went to Aircron, which honestly 50.9% has been absolutely insane, especially considering how good she performs in Memory of Chaos, right? So Jade for Jade, unit for unit, some units are just inherently more valuable than others. And that is going to be my neutral opinion, right? All right, moving on. That's going to be my take. Oh, wait, before we move on, meta is temporary. Right now, Super Break is all that. All right, Super Break is insane. Ranmei is insane. But who's to know what will happen in the future if MiHo decides to change the meta? Who's to know? Maybe MiHo. I think I mentioned this in my stream one day. Like, if we could have a ally unit that summons mobs for the enemy, like Hearthstone units, like Leroy Jenkins, you summon 2 Welkins. If we can have a unit that summons mob for the enemy, oh my god, then Jade might be absolutely nuclear good, right? So meta is always temporary. It really depends on what we have. But as of right now, from what we can see, that's gonna be the situation. All right. Moving on to 登场率 appearance rate. So this is basically out of all pure fiction clears, who appeared the most. So if we had 1,000 pure fiction clears, 892 pure fiction clears included Ranmei, right? So that's gonna be the 登场率. It has nothing to do with who owns Ranmei, right? So this is assuming that you are already owning Ranmei and using them in pure fiction, right? So 登场率 rank 1 is still going to be Ranmei at 89.2%. The top tier, or rather the second tier behind Ranmei, is actually not Jade, which is crazy. 74.3% Herta and 67.2% at Himeko. So these are gonna be our standard units that we can get complete for free. Although that being said, you do need to consider the fact that I think a lot less players pull for Jade, whereas a lot more players probably have Herta, probably have Himeko, right? So maybe Jade just didn't appear because people just simply did not give a shit about Jade, right? Respectfully. So we're gonna go into the high tier. Sparkle at 52%, Robin at 45.8%, Firefly at 41.9%, Avenger at 37.9%, and Gallagher, all is gonna be Yep, so this is gonna be roughly from a 50 to 52% rate. Aircon is still looking not too bad at 35.2%. I think our top 3 is still gonna be our supports, right? Ranmei, Sparkle, Robin, they have been consistently doing very, very well, both in Pure Fiction and Memory of Chaos. So I believe that in terms of absolute bang for buck, even if you're not building pure follow-up teams, right? I think Robin, she has seen spectacular usage outside of follow-up teams, right? You can use it in DOT, but I've even seen people using Robin in hyper carry teams, right? So I think Robin, she honestly leaves much with desire, and honestly, I think harmony units in general is just really good, right? So that's gonna be that. Super Rate, that's gonna be the Flavor of the Month, and now going into the mid tier is actually gonna be where the fuck is Jade? Oh. Yeah, Hue at 24.6%, Kafka 90%, Clara 18.6%, Bronya 18.5%, Argenti 18.4%, all the way down to Imbibitor, Lune, Jade, and Jingyuan at 9.3%, 8.3%, as well as 5.7% in terms of appearance rate. So that is to say, if there was 1,000 pure fiction clears, only 83 of them used Jade. Like I said, this might be because this unit is new, people didn't build her, or simply because people didn't want to pull for Jade, right? So there can be a very different reasons as to why appearance rate was so low. It just shows that people are just not that interested in pulling for Jade. And this is, like I said, this is from the CN side of things. This is from the CN side of things. Maybe people in global, they are a little bit more interested in Jade, so who knows? But I'm simply gonna be presenting the statistics, right? Neutral, we're staying neutral. This does not show whether Jade is good or bad at all, right? This simply just shows how many players used Jade in our current pure fiction, right? So it is nothing to do with whether this unit is good or bad, right? So this is gonna be the appearance rate for the mid category. Hue actually come in kind of close to Fusion, 10% off. Not too bad, not too bad. Hue is just, alright, so that's gonna be that. And jumping to finally, it's gonna be our low tier at Blade, Scylla, Japard, all the way down to Luca at 0.1%. Actually, I'm honestly surprised people actually can use Luca in pure fiction. That's completely fucking crazy. So yeah, 4.7%, 3.8, 3.5, 3.4, 3%, all the way to Jingliu 2.1%. Also, I believe the only thing that is consistent for both usage rate and appearance rate is Jingliu. I think Jingliu has been very, very low. 2.5% usage rate and 2.1% appearance rate. So very, very, very little people are using Jingliu nowadays in pure fiction. Even though she is a destruction unit, I think just generally, but not using her that much in pure fiction. So take that into consideration. Rest of the units don't really much to talk about. It's just sub 1%, so that's going to be that. And we are now jumping into the average score. Now, average score, holy smokes. Jade coming at a whopping 38,325 average score. Highest above of all of the units that we have right now. Absolutely insane average score at 38,325. So that means that even though her appearance rate was very, very low, even though she appeared only 8.3% of the time, those people who actually used Jade achieved a very, 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 very good average score, right? So this is going to 38,325 for all players who actually use Jade. So very small sample size. That means that it is a pretty small sample size. So maybe players who actually build Jade, they might be considered as whales, right? They have already spent the resources needed to build Jade, build up since day one, boom, boom, user. So there might be a little bit of discrepancy because build players or like new or casual players, they might not even have their Jade ready, right? So take that into consideration. And now going into the second tier is going to be Argenti, Berta, Robin, Imeko, as well as Ranmei. That's gonna be very, very nice. Quite interesting to see. Robin actually has a slightly higher average score than Ranmei, which is crazy. Oh my god, slightly higher, but not too much of discrepancy here. Still roughly hovering between the 36,000 into 35,000 range for the high tier. Argenti almost coming in at a Jade tier, but not quite. Considering the fact that he is considered a version 1 DPS, he's performing pretty well in pure fiction, which I think Argenti, I mean, I feel like pure fiction, it was designed originally for Argenti, but now we have a unit that is performing a slightly higher average score, so that's gonna be very nice. And now going into the high tier, Scylla, holy shit. Top of the high tier is gonna be Scylla at 34,502. What a timeless fucking unit. Despite having 7.3 and 3.8 usage and appearance rate respectively, Blood Edgy ranking at 34,502. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. I feel that as time progresses, Scylla mains will just get lesser and lesser, right? But those Scylla mains that actually remain, that still use Scylla, their Scylla is probably completely fucking cracked. They are completely fighting great. They're going to one-shot everything. So players are still... There's a little bit of a survivor bias, right? There's a little bit of survivor bias. Those Scylla who are shit, they're going to leave. But those Scylla who still remain, they are going to, you know, perform exceptionally well. So that's going to be there. Qin Yuan 34,255 all the way to Adventure and Huan Hui. Back to back around 34,000 and 33,000. Very, very nice to see. Actually, slightly outperforming Spargo. I think one of the reasons why is just because Aircraft wasn't used that much. So Team just ended up using a little bit, see her pairing up with a little bit more usage, such as the and then Spargo is going to be 33,000, and the Topaz almost coming very close at 33,000 as well. So they are roughly the same. Black Swan Kafka, quite literally less than 30 points difference. So pretty much the same. Firefly, our girlfriend, as well as Honey Trailblazer also coming around 32. So I think this range, they're all hovering between the 34,000 and 33,000 range. So pretty good to see. Where the hell? Oh, Full Strength actually went down to an average of 31,882. That's quite interesting to see. Bronya actually not too bad, 32,904. Clara 32,762. Acheron and Imbibitor Rune at 32,000 and 31,000 respectively. Ding Yuan actually doing not too bad. Not too bad for our general at 31,982. Not too bad for our general, if I can say so myself, right? Considering the fact that he is a 1.0 DPS and can still perform here, even though it is slightly lower than Scylla, just by a very slight amount, he's still performing not too bad, right? Luocha and Fu Xuan, they are roughly around the same, so not too bad. And then Jade is going to be the low tier. That is the low tier. 30,000 for Gallagher, Japard, Asta, Blade. Oh my god, Jing Liu just does not perform in pure fiction. Like, legitimately just does not perform. Because consider the fact that we have a very low appearance rate for Jing Liu already, which means that the data for this is already skewed to Jing Liu's favor. Because those players who still want to use Jing Liu despite the very low appearance rate, it means that the Jing Liu is probably very good, right? The lower this number is, the better your odds are at getting a good score. But despite having only 2.1% appearance rate, her score is just really not up to par. It's just not up to par. So it is what it is. So Jing Liu, March 7th, and Silwolf, they are going to be our 3 units that are actually sub 30,000. So that is going to be that. Daughter ratio actually still running to 30,000 is actually quite impressive, right? So that is the overall data for our average scores in memory. In pure fiction. So the second half, Jade is also the highest ranking score, right? Jade also performs the highest in the second half as well. So 30,000 for the first half, 30,000 for the second half, and then this is going to be the rest, right? So I would say overall, the placings, they are roughly the same for both the first half and the second half. So, yeah. I think TLDR is Jing Liu over. I think there's a TLDR. It is Jing Liu over, right? It is Jing Liu over, right? Anyways, going into the rise and fall, Jade, very big bump up, 79% since the last usage rate, and Firefly at 56.9% since the last usage rate. So I guess if you are talking about bang for buck, if you only care about pure vision, I believe that Jade does have a slightly higher usage rate compared to Firefly. So more players who pull for Jade will use Jade in pure vision, right? That being said, Firefly right now is completely fucking bonkers in Memory of Chaos. So take that as you will. Herta actually rising a whopping 51.7%. Absolute insane buff. Okay, I think this is a very interesting point of view I want to talk about here. Whenever there's an environment that Jade can excel in, Herta will probably also excel in. Fair? Because the buffs that benefit Jade, they are probably the same buffs that will benefit Herta. Because they are both AoE, they are both follow-up attacks focused, right? So you could consider Jade as like a upgraded version of Herta, or you can use Jade with Herta to trigger some very nice damage numbers. Same thing for Himeko, right? At a whopping 81.7% usage rate. So this is where the question comes to play. If you have ever lost your 50-50 and you manage to get a Himeko, or you got a Herta, right? Will there be a situation where it will convince players to swap out either Herta or Himeko for Jade? Because the environment that benefits both Herta and Himeko, they are very similar to environments that will also benefit Jade. So is Jade worth your Stellar Jades? Pun intended. Considering the environment that we have in pure fiction, I'm gonna leave that up to food for thought, right? Food for thought. Harmony Trailblazer going up by roughly 29%, pretty decent. Gallagher also going up by a little bit by 23.6%. Argenti still performing relatively well at 76.8%. Still very good, rising up by 13%. I feel like Argenti, he has always consistently performed pretty good in terms of usage and appearance rate in pure vision, right? I think Argenti in general, for pure vision game mode, he's gonna be great. So if you are one of the few units, few players that actually prove Argenti, he's still performing quite up the task. And that being said, I want to bring up a very interesting point. Argenti or Jade? I'm gonna stay neutral and I'll let the comment section duke it out. Argenti or Jade? In Memory of Chaos, I would say, in Memory of Chaos, I personally feel that Argenti does have more Memory of Chaos usage rate compared to Jade at E0 to E0, right? That is my personal opinion. I'll leave that up to yourself. Right, Topaz is going by 30.4%, and the rest of stuff is going to be a roughly 10% increase, so not too much to talk about here. So we are now going to take a look at our biggest losers, and that is going to be this unit over here. Afka, completely falling off the goddamn cliff. Minus 49.3% usage rate. And this kind of brings me back to the point, because previous rotation, DOT units were completely fucking busted because of the DOT buff. You will see very, very drastic changes in Pure Fiction because the bars for Pure Fiction, they are very, very big, right? So what used to be an insane unit back then, it will no longer be as good or anywhere close to as viable as they were compared to the previous rotation. So Kafka falling off, Black Swan falling off, but it is what it is because last patch, DOT was just so good that they just had to fall off, right? So it is what it is. Acheron also for the never let you go minus 34.2%. Blade also falling off at 31.5%. So these are gonna be the changes, mainly Silverwolf falling off by 18.3, Pella dropping by 16.2, and Resolute is roughly at a 10% difference, so it's not too big of a discrepancy. So that is gonna be our biggest losers. And now for our final segment, we are gonna look at the overall best teams, or rather the team-wide usage rate. The team-wide usage rate at rank 1. The highest used team in CN is actually going to be Argenti, Sparkle, and Tingyun at a whopping 35.4% usage rate and an average of 37,160. Now, this is going to be for the first half, right? This is going to be for the first half. Almost 9 out of every 100 clears, 99 clears use Argenti for the first half. Then the best team for the second half, I believe, is going to be this right here. Firefly, Ranmei, Super Break Himeko, and Harmony MC. Fucking duo Super Break. Almost 97% of this is gonna be over here. 0.2% lower than the OG Super Break where we ran Gallagher. But that being said, it does have a whopping 6,000 points increase. 6,000 points increase, and they are roughly around the same usage rate. So I would say, me personally, I think this team is a little bit better compared to this team right here. Gallagher, rest in peace. You will never need it. We just had to swap you out for a big titty mummy, and that's all there is to it, right? So, yeah. So Himeko actually performing exceptionally well with Ranmei and Firefly with Harmony Trailblazer at 37,227. Jade is gonna come in at rank 7. I'm quite surprised to see that despite their overall individual low usage rate, the top teams is still Dotcaron. Dotcaron is inevitable, guys. Dotcaron is inevitable. Rank 2, rank 3, rank 4 is basically Dotcaron with Adventuring, Dotcaron with Fusion, Dotcaron with Huanhui, which is fucking crazy. So the top 3 teams just completely got dominated by Dotcaron, and then we see the Jade is going to be ranked the 7th highest usage rate with Jade, Robin, Spin Kuru, as well as Adventuring. Then rank 8 is going to be Topaz, Robin, and that is pretty much it. So Jade is going to be taking in the 7th spot in terms of the highest usage rate, and this team also performed very, very well, by the way. This is in fact the highest performing team out of every single team here at 39,730, a almost completely perfect or almost. So if you want to talk about absolute highest ceiling, if you are going for that 0 cycle Pure Fiction, then this team is currently the strongest team, and considering the fact that this is also for the second half, right? So take that into consideration, and I believe this is gonna be the absolute highest perfect scores. Now, that is where Jade really starts to shine. The absolute highest scores in Pure Fiction, it is completely dominated by Jade. Jade, and Argenti is gonna come in at 9th place at 39,153, and then it's gonna be Jade. In the top 10 teams, 9 of the 10 teams had Jade. So you can see that in terms of the score ceiling, Jade is the highest score, right? Every motherfucker was just using Jade. That being said, you also must take into consideration Robin also appeared in pretty much almost everyone. Robin, no Robin, and then Robin, and Herta appeared in all of the top 8. Herta, Absolutely. So Robin and Herta, they also go in hand with Jade. Would you think that Jade exceptional performance is because of her absolutely insane synergy with Herta Robin? Or what do you guys say? So leave a comments down below. Leave a comment down below. This is in terms of the absolute highest score, 40,000 all the way down. Can we have the lower score, Kazusa? I want to see if my app is fixed. Is my app fixed? Nope. Oh! Ooh! We are so correct, guys. Ooh. The lower score is going to be Acheron Pella Adventuring Soulwolf at a whopping 28,324. 2.8% usage rate and 0.4% appearance rate. Then second team is lower is gonna be Clara with Huan, Sparkle, and Tingyun. Third lower is gonna be Imperator Lune, Sparkle, Tingyun, and Fusion. Fourth lowest is what the fuck? Kafka, Aventurine, Acheron, and Pella. Interesting. So these four teams, they have quote-unquote failed, right? Because they went below 30,000. That's quite interesting to see. The bottom, that Tingyun actually doing not too bad. He still performed above 30,000, guys. So it's honestly not too bad. Not too bad, guys. Right? So yeah, that is pretty much it. Okay, before we move on, since I'm here, right, I can kind of look at the highest appearance rate as well. The highest appearance rate, it is still Super Break Firefly. This is the highest appearance rate. So Rame, Firefly, Harmony, Trollbase, and Gallagher, it is the out of every single pure fission clear, 10.8% were done by Super Break. Rank 2 is actually gonna be Himeko. Himeko, Herta, I think this team has been absolutely timeless. Absolutely timeless. I think since day one of pure fission, Himeko Herta has been performing exceptionally well. Rank 2, this is gonna be the one, right? This is gonna be the golden comp. Himeko, Rame, Firefly, Harmony, Trailblazer, fuck Gallagher, only big titty above at a whopping 8.7% appearance rate and also scoring 37,000 points. Absolutely insane point scoring. And then the rest is gonna be him. Oh my god, Himeko just went for like so. Himeko. Argenti coming at a 7th spot in a 3.4% in terms of appearance rate. I have no fucking idea where's Jade. Where is Jade? I'm trying to find Jade. Where is Jade? Am I blind? Okay, let me know if you guys found Jade. Where the fuck is Jade? Wait, I can't find Jade, guys. Oh, 43. Yo, 43, chat. Oh my goodness, 43. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, so Jade is gonna be rank 43 in terms of the highest appearance rate. But that being said, take this into consideration that she is the highest scoring team at a whopping 39,700. This is the highest scoring team in pure fission. Like I said, usage and appearance rate, they are not indicative of how good a unit performs, right? But that, if you care about big numbers, high scores, 0 cycles, then Jade, this team is absolutely popping the fuck off at 13,700. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me go back here and we can kind of wrap up this video. With that, we have come to the end of today's content. If you guys want to engage in any further discussions, head on over to Discord at discord.gg/Pokke. We have a very active community talking about Honkai Starbucks on a daily basis. Want to check my stream? That's twitch.tv/. What doesn't. Check out 11 to 20 in terms of scores so we can get some diversity. Okay, editors, Sarah has decided to hijack my stream again. Okay, 11 to 20, higher scores. Argenti, hyper carry, Jade, hyper carry, Red, Zilla, Red, Jade, it's just all over the place right now. But yeah, just all over the place. You have Jade, you have follow-up team comps, you have Scylla, you have Topaz, you have Argent, you have a lot. You basically have a lot, right? Absolutely insane. Okay, anyways, yeah, back to the outro, because with that, we've come to the end of today's content. Check my stream, the Twitch.tv with that, we've come to the end of today's content. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.